The live button has now been hit. I am here live in person to see you people. How we doing? The last live stream before Christmas, before Santa Claus, good old Saint Nicholas coming down your chimney to give you presents. How is everybody doing this wonderful day? It's so nice to see y'all. See y'all here already spamming in the chat. Hurry, Chris. I am hurrying in here. Yo, 3C. Oh, let's see who else I could just get thrown in here. Yo, 3C. Oh, let's go. Uh, hey. Good to see all y'all beautiful people. We're just gonna talk about some nice movie news stuff today. Some of the topics I have here in mind for us to talk today is the DC is now dead. DCEU is gone, baby. 10 years long it lasted, right? I'm gonna be making a video this weekend about remembering the DCEU as a whole, going from Man of Steel all the way today to Aquaman 2 and what it was like going through that journey as a fan, the ups, the downs, all that. But today I wanted to go through all the movies that were promised in this universe and we never got. And you're going to be surprised the amount of movies we were supposed to get in the DC universe that just never happened. Oh, guys, it's kind of crazy. Along that, we got reports of a Super Smash Bros. Cinematic movie with Illumination. Don't play with me now. Don't do this. We're also going to be talking about some Spider-Man updates because we got some people, that's just the theme. December seems to be Spider-Man, but man, I go back to 2 Decembers ago when it was nothing but Spider-Man No Way Home talk. You guys remember that? When we were young, beautiful, and carefree going, is Toby and Andrew going to show up? Oh, I miss those days. I miss those. Kind of a dry December. Not a lot to talk about. Nobody wanted to talk about Aquaman 2, and that's why I decided to live stream, and then I'll go film the spoiler review for later tonight. Then also, it is Christmas weekend. A lot of people like to go to the movies Christmas weekend, so I thought I'd give you my suggestion for what movie to see this weekend, because we got a couple in there. But other than that, let me just see what some of y'all are saying. The DCEU is dead. Good. Bury it. Oh, man, I can't believe it's over. Who this? Who you? Daddy! 10 years of the DCU and box office bombs. Hey, not all of them, but yeah, more than they would have liked. That's for sure. I know that. W. Harry Cheeks. Hey, man, I'm sick. I'm actually seeing a lot of people saying they're sick in the chat. Virtually stay away from me. I'm trying to have a good little Christmas, okay? Oh, you know what? I forgot to add it to the doc, but we do got some Five Nights at Freddy's 2 news. Heck, let's go ahead and start with that right here because we did get a small update with Five Nights at Freddy's. So thank you, Sloth Nation. Let's the nation and begin. Okay, so lately, Daniel RPK has just been providing us with scoop after scoop after scoop. I'm like, man, you're gonna hurt your track record if this stuff turns out being fake. But for right now, like I said, he's someone that has gotten enough stuff right that when he says something, you're like, oh, hey, this guy's talking. Come look at him real quick. And so he updated us on Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And I was like, okay, let's see if it pops up here. I bet somebody already talked about it. Probably my boy Johnny Blocks. I know. Let's see here. Let me get them keywords going. Okay. So this is what he has reported here. He is saying, one, that we are not only going to get Five Nights at Freddy's 2 come not next year. Hang on, let me actually pull it up here. FNAF movie. Let me pull it up. Just so we get something nice. Oh my god, why did it go back to white, man? I like my black screen. That's so bright. Okay, whatever. Bear with me here. Okay, so he's promising us that Blumhouse is wanting to film this movie by spring of next year. Doesn't look like they want to release it next year, and I kind of believe that, especially since Jason Blum announced their Wolfman movie is coming out October of next year. They wouldn't do that unless they had that slot ready for FNAF to come out in October again, since they had major success there. So I think we are going to have to wait to 2025 for FNAF 2, but that's fine. It gives them plenty of time to work on the movie and get it done properly and all this. So that's what we heard. Then he updated us just yesterday with this news here saying that the character of Jeremy Fitzgerald is set to have a huge role in the upcoming Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Now, his exact words is that he would have a leading role, and some of this was scaring people, making them think, yo, what about my boy Josh Hutcherson? Let me see if I could do it. You guys been seeing those memes? You guys know what I'm talking about? Somebody clip that, make that look cool. So we were like, what about I thought he was the lead. I'm still thinking they're keeping Josh Hutcherson and we're going to be following him as Mike Schmidt throughout the series. But now they're going to bring in Jeremy Fitzgerald. Now, if you're like me, you maybe weren't that too familiar. Well, you know me, because I never like to pretend like I'm a FNAF expert. I like to be honest with you guys. But he was the main protagonist of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the game, which was a prequel. It was a prequel in the universe. I don't think they'll make it a prequel in the movie world. I think that they will have make it a sequel and maybe just give us a lot of flashbacks to the events of what happened beforehand. But just like a quick biography for those who might not know, it says, upon being hired, Jeremy is informed by phone guy of the details of the new occupation, also learning that the guard before him was moved to the day shift to the animatronics trying to get into the office. So this is basically one of the very first victims by William Afton. And again, since we know Scott is changing things and creating a whole new lore into this universe, we don't know what he plans to do. I think anything you know of Jeremy within the games, you kind of got to take it out the window because, again, FNAF 2 was a prequel, and I just really don't think they're going to make this next one a prequel. I think Jeremy is just going to reveal himself and have a connection with William, and maybe that's how we'll get into the backstory, because I want to know so much more about William Afton and what's going on in there. But that's kind of the update we have right now, and it's definitely interesting. It makes sense why they would bring a prime protagonist of the second game into the second movie. But again, I'm just like, timeline wise, how does that work? And what does this mean when he gets to meeting up with Mike Schmidt? Are they going to be teaming up? Is he on William's side? Is he not? Is this going to be another secret twist in the lore? Honestly, I mean, see, some people are saying like a Jeremy versus Mike situation. That could very much be the case. I mean, we saw Vanessa was put under William Afton's spell and she was just the daughter, you know. Jeremy might end up being someone else that believes a lot more into William Afton and could be doing some sinister things. That could definitely be happening. But that is kind of the things that's the most recent news we got with Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I thought it sounded interesting. I'm glad someone reminded me, that way I could bring it up here. Okay, let me see what else we got here. All right. Cool. So let me get into the next storyline in here. And the next storyline we got is more updates from freaking Daniel RPK. Oh, you know what? Let me talk about this first. I forgot about this. Mickey Mouse, y'all, is becoming public domain. We saw what that means with Winnie the Pooh. As soon as he got put into the public domain, we got Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. We got that movie, and we're getting a sequel on the way. It's going to be very exciting. January 1st, new year, Steamboat Mickey Mouse Willie is free for everybody. You can make a movie. I can make a movie. Anybody can make a movie. Okay, I was looking behind my shoulder, seeing if somebody was there, but no one was there. So a couple of details on this, because people are kind of misinterpreting this. So yes, Mickey Mouse will now be in the public domain. So, you know, we're going to get somebody capitalizing on the Mickey Mouse name, because that's like a giant, huge character, right? Somebody's going to capitalize on that name and want to make a horror movie, or maybe even their own cartoon or whatnot. The problem is, it's only this exact Mickey Mouse right here that you're looking at, Steamboat Willie. It is not the Mickey Mouse where a lot of us picture. Let me see if I can pull him up. It's not. Basically, I would say the most famous Mickey Mouse of them all. This one, the colored out red shorts, kind of, hi guys. I can't do a Mickey Mouse. I'm so sorry. You had to hear that. Maybe the hot dog one. He's not coming. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. If you got kids out there, you've heard that a million times. It's not that version. It's the Steamboat Willie one. And that, I think, already, I don't know if there's a lot of potential for what you could do there, other than just having a black and white mouse name the movie Mickey Mouse Boat of Horrors or something, because again, you have to stick to what was created with this. And all we kind of know of this Mickey Mouse is he's got a boat, he whistles, doesn't talk much, black and white. The rest you're going to have to create on your own. This is not a Mickey Mouse that they're going to be able to put the red shorts on, have that iconic voice attached and whatnot. This is all we get. But it's bound to happen. Somebody is going to take advantage of this. I mean, heck, just the other day, I saw that, Bloody Disgusting reported on it. And the views, I'll be milking those. I'm not going to lie. People do it. And as soon as they make him a freaking horror movie, oh, I'm going to be there. I'm 10 videos in 10 weeks. I'll do it. I'll definitely get there. So get ready. Not all of it could be horror movies, but get ready for more Mickey Mouse content out there. Illumination could somehow pull it out of their butts and do something in there, steal the iconic character. To me, the most surprising part, though, is like Disney hasn't done anything with Mickey Mouse. They rarely do anything with Mickey Mouse. You do have the Mickey Mouse cartoon shows, like I was just talking about, the little kid show, the hot dog, hot dog. I remember as a kid, I liked where Mickey Mouse had a nightclub or something. What was that? What was that show? Mickey Mouse Club. I don't even, not Clubhouse, but it was what was it? It was Mickey Mouse, and it was the villains were in there, and it was a bar. What was that? Is this Mickey Mouse's House of Mouse? I remember that. And I was like, that's so cool. This is where they all go to drink and hang out. That was so awesome. That was my thing as a kid. But other than that, they never gave Mickey Mouse a movie. They never gave him a freaking bigger series. I'm so surprised. So honestly, they did it to themselves. They had freaking Mickey Mouse for 100 years, and they barely did anything with him. So people are now about to milk this guy like crazy. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Mickey Mouse becoming a horror movie, January 1st. You wait for that announcement. I got my lovely doggy here in the corner. Don't think that something's coming to attack me. Nebula. Hi, baby. Oh, baby. Say hi to my fans. Okay, sorry about that. All right, let's move on to the next thing here. All right, so we got the DC talk. All right, let's talk about the Super Smash Bros. Thing. So again, coming from Daniel RPK, the man has been on this scooping game nonstop, and until we see more of his stuff get wrong, we'll see. But he's been very adamant about some of the stuff lately, and he reports here that Illumination reportedly wants to create a Nintendo cinematic universe. The studio shared a pitch with Nintendo that would evolve into a Super Smash Bros. Film. Okay, this is pretty huge. Again, take it with a grain of salt, but let's pretend that it's real and that it's actually happening. I don't doubt it. Obviously, cinematic universes are a giant big thing right now. Well, Marvel has knocked it out of the park, but we also have seen they fail. It is way harder to make a cinematic universe than you think, okay? Marvel and the Conjuring universe are the only cinematic universes that are actually very profitable, okay? Right now, we are literally on the weekend of the DC death. It took 10 years for that thing to fall. The Dark Universe had one movie and a picture, and it was gone. That was a Tom Cruise world. I think this has definite potential, but you need to go about it the right way. There's so many things. So for one, Illumination being behind it. Let me see if I can pull up. Maybe 3 years ago, I would have said terrible idea. I was always Illumination's biggest hater. I know people love the Minions and Despicable Me, and those can be fun movies, but Illumination movies never hit. Super Mario movie, amazing. I loved it. Migration, the movie that's out this weekend, it's really good. I thought I was going crazy, but I saw other people mention their reaction to the movie, and they're like, this doesn't feel like an Illumination movie. It doesn't got pop songs, it doesn't got friggin' pop references, fart jokes, none of that. It's actually a pretty great movie outside of what Illumination has usually been known for. They've stepped up their game, and you got to remember, this company is also under the same banner that brought us Puss in Boots. DreamWorks, Illumination, they work under the same banner. Something is being cooked in Illumination that they're starting to get a handle on things. So I right now kind of trust them a lot. to bring together the cinematic universe, especially with what they did with Mario. My biggest issue and concern with it is I don't think you can build up to a Smash Bros. Movie the same way Marvel built up to an Avenger movie. I just don't think that's possible. It's the all these worlds that I'm literally showing you right now, from Link to Legend of Zelda to Mario, Sonic, freaking Mega Man, Metroid. All these universes are very different from each other, and I would hate for the Legend of Zelda movie to feel like the Mario movie. I would hate for a Mega Man movie to feel like for whatever the Legend of Zelda movie is going to end up feeling like. Like, these are just so different from one another. I don't think you should do the thing of like, okay, we did the Mario movie, now we did the Sonic movie, now we did this movie, now we did this movie, and drop little hints of the bigger things. I don't think you can do that. I think you have to do the thing where you just make the movie. You just make Super Smash Bros. You add, obviously, I don't think you can add all these characters, but you add the heavy hitters. You add Link, you add Mario, you add Metroid, Metroid, a freaking Pac-Man. If you can throw Sonic in there, I don't know legally how that works because Sonic's already in his own cinematic universe. Probably going to pack it in with like 70% Mario characters and then 30% other Nintendo related properties in there, like Star Fox. And then from that movie, you make the separate worlds, but you don't connect them. The Mario movie made it so that you could possibly let me see if I can pull it up. The Mario movie made it so that you could easily explain how there's all these different universes. Let me see if I can. There's that scene. Okay, this scene. Remember this scene where they go from New York, Brooklyn. Hey, get out of here. What you doing? They go from New York, Brooklyn into the Mushroom Kingdom through these little portals. That's how you explain it. You have the setup right there. You enter a portal, you end up in the Metroid world. Yeah, you go through a portal, you end up in Legend of Zelda, but you have minimal crossover. Uh because even again, like, there is no real storyline in the Super Smash Bros. Game. I think the essential idea behind it is that you're a bunch of toys in a kid's room, right? Because uh I remember early on, yeah, you fight this hand that is like supposed to represent the thing controlling you as a toy and making you fight with one another. It's like me if I bought my Batman, my Marvel, my toys in my room when I was a kid and made them kiss. That's what I was doing. Okay? You're not gonna tell on me, are you? That's what I think. And so it's like, how do you make a storyline out of that? Do you go the Toy Story route and have a kid do that and then go through his imagination? Would you even have these like giant hands coming in as the big boss at the end? What reason would you give good guys like Mario and Link to fight each other? There's like just so many questions where it's like, I don't know if it can work. But even if you make it work, $2 billion easily. Dude, this movie would make buckets of freaking money right there. So I definitely want this to happen, but I just don't know how you make it happen, right? Because you also think Illumination, they kind of have a specific style. They broke their style when going to the Mario movie, which I was surprised. I thought Mario was going to look all skinny, tight. You know how the characters in the Dr. Seuss movies look like, or even just their movies in general. The humans are always very slanky, wonky, kind of skeleton looking things. They broke that model with Mario because they wanted to stick true to what those characters look like. And at the end, that's what makes them unique, you know? So I don't know. I definitely think there's room for this to actually be a reality, for it to work, but you don't do it through movie building up. You have it be its own separate thing, and then you just go for the movie. You just bring them in. You don't have it really reference. You build up the idea of what they are. Honestly, if you just have a fun time, it'd be great. But I am curious, if people like Sonic could be in it. I'm still waiting for like freaking Crash Bandicoot someday to join in there. I know that's not like a Nintendo property, it's Sony, but I always believe those rumors and other things in there. And how do you throw Pokemon in there? It's just like, what? That's a whole other universe right there. Street Fighter character, like, it could be a lot of fun. I hope it happens, but I just see this being like a pipe dream, something that you always wish, but it'll never happen. Same as a Marvel versus DC movie, right? That's like something fans always dream about in the distance. Maybe they could make it work, but who knows? Who knows right there? So that's what we're hearing. We'll see how that goes. I'd love to find. Oh shoot, sorry about that. I freaking just exited out. I'd love to find out what they have in mind and what they would end up doing, but I just see it as a long ways away. I like if I had to put a percentage on it, I'm gonna go a 30% chance it actually happens. I'm sure they pitched it. That's definitely something they would want to pitch. Every studio wants to pitch a cinematic universe, and it's right there. But for it to actually go down and happen, I don't even know if Nintendo wants to do that. Nintendo's been pretty picky with their stuff. And they hate when stuff like this leaks. So now that we're talking about it, they might cancel it, like the Legend of Zelda show that was supposed to be on Netflix. When that leaked, they said, no grazie, no grazie. All right. Moving on here. The DC thing is going to take a while, so let's jump on to the Spider-Man news. All right, so we had some Spider-Man news that came up thanks to Cryptic HD quality. Again, they've become someone new and very reliable. They've gotten a lot of stuff right of when we're going to get trailers, the runtimes for movies, and now they've started scooping, and some of their scoops have been coming to fruition. So they say here that Kevin Feige, or Fagoli, if you're cultured, he says, wants someone, a villain from the SSU, that's the Sony Spider-Man spin-off universe, in the MCU. This individual, if successfully brought into the MCU, will have a cool but disheartening role. All right. So that's the update we have right now with Spider-Man 4. They're saying that let me see if I can bring it up. The Sony Spider-Man universe has a character that Kevin Feige really wants. And he wants to bring him into the MCU and have them be part of the movies. I got a couple of questions about this because he's being kind of vague, right? Let me see if I can pull up all the movies and characters right in front so we can get a nice photo. So I don't know if he means he wants that actor along with the character or he just wants the character, period. What I mean by this is like taking a look at this, right? So let's leave Vulture out because we know right now he is in the MCU. I don't care what Morbius did. Not going to happen. But we have Tom Hardy's Venom. We have Aaron Taylor Johnson's Craven. And we have Jared Leto's Mobius, right? Kevin Feige's looking at these guys and he's going, I want that guy in the MCU. Let's work out a deal, Sony, and let's make it happen. I don't know if that means Tom Hardy would be then that character, if they would literally pull them from their universe and pop them in the MCU, or it's just literally him going, I just desperately want Craven for a story. Stop making a movie about him and let me use him. Let's go through it right now. I think the most probable option, not going to lie, is Craven. If you don't remember, Tom Holland admitted, let me see here. Tom Holland said that Spider-Man No Way Home was originally a Craven movie. Craven was going to be the bad guy. I think he said that here. Tom Holland. Let me see if see Spider-Man 3. Let me see if I can find that article because I remember he said it. Okay, yeah, he said it here. Tom Holland says, Tom Holland says his third Spider-Man movie was almost about Craven. So they literally had the idea, and before it became a multiverse story, and Toby and Andrew came in there, and it was the Fergalicious Five and not the Sinister Six. Don't know why they did that. They had the idea to make it a Craven movie, and it was probably going to be inspired by Craven's Last Hunt because it's like the most famous story he's got out there. When Marvel does that and they have an idea in place where they had a script and a story, they reuse that stuff. They hold that into the freezer, and when it's time to cook, and it's ready. I'm thinking it's Craven. I think Kevin Feige wants Craven in the MCU, and he wants to use him for a story, and it would be an amazing story. I mean, even just looking a little bit at what the Spider-Man 2 game did, the PS5 game, elements of that story would be so amazing for Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Just a guy who wants like a foe out there that could beat him, that could kill him, and putting Tom Holland through the ringer and just beating him, hunting him like an animal. Oh, dude, it would be so epic. It would be so great. So I'm thinking, number one, it's going to be Craven. Craven, I think, is like the top choice. Morbius, I'm not even gonna take it seriously. Nobody wants Morbius after what just happened. He's a laughing stock. He's no. If Kevin Feige really wants Morbius, it's time to put Kevin Feige in a home. I'm sorry. The man has gone senile. He does not think clearly anymore. The hats have gotten too tight and have cut Fagoli's circulation. We unfortunately have to put him down. That's I didn't make the rules. That's what happens if he wants Morbius. Venom, though, could be honestly the actual one. Well, I think it's Craven. I mean, the setup is there for Venom. We have the let me see. No Way Home. Uh we have they literally set up the black suit storyline by the end of No Way Home, right? Where they even commissioned concept art. This is real concept art of what Tom Holland's black suit Spider-Man would have looked like if they went down that route. Like they were seriously considering it, which yeah, I kind of love this design. I would have loved that to be the final design. I mean, they're setting it up, but from everything we're hearing, Spider-Man 4 isn't going to be a Venom thing. Honestly, this post-credit scene might take as long to fulfill as the Scorpion post-credit scene, okay? Because we're barely hearing Scorpion might be involved as a villain in Spider-Man 4, and it's like freaking about time, man. You teased that so long ago. Same thing could happen here. We might not get this fulfilled until Spider-Man 7 or something like that. But the setup is there, right? And that means eventually that's got to latch on to Tom Holland. And if it doesn't latch on to Tom Holland Spider-Man, it's got to latch on to an Eddie Brock, to a freaking Harry Osborn if they want to be inspired by the Spider-Man 2 game, or whoever else. So Kevin might be like, look, we have a spot in here for Venom to come in to be the bad guy. You guys are about to finish your third movie, your trilogy. Let's end it off there. And then now that you're done with Venom movies and you're moving on to Craven 2, Madam Web 2, Morbin Time 2, whatever, let me take Venom and give him a proper story in the MCU. I feel like that is probably what Kevin Feige actually wants to do, right? Well, I still think it's Craven because they had a story in place. They do have the Black Symbiote storyline literally right there. Heck, it could be both of them. Have the go into Venom and then Craven come in, have two villains in one. I mean, if there's any movie to do it, it would definitely be that because it would be the Last Hunt storyline. So it could be that's what we're seeing. Other than that, I don't know what other character from the Sony spin-off universe would even be worth bringing in to the MCU. No way they want a Madam Web in there. I know they got the Spider-Women characters that are going to be showing up in that movie, but no way they want them for the MCU. There's rumors of Miles Morales and whatnot, but he's not even in the Sony spin-off universe yet until they steal him and take him away from Fagoli. So I definitely see that. So people, my money's on Morbius and Madam Web. Never go to the casinos. Never gamble, my friend. I'm saving your life right now. Scorpion becomes MCU Venom. Why not? Now, I know Matt Gargan has become Venom in the comics, so there's a precedence for it. He fights Spider-Man in the Scorpion suit, gets badly damaged, maybe gets paralyzed. We know he's got like a broken arm in that post-credit scene. The symbiote could give him the ability to move and walk again. That power can be enticing. Like Toby said, power, it feels good, but you'll lose yourself. Oh, Spider-Man 3 is so underrated. Man, 3C is cooking today. The kitchen is open. Oh, thank you guys so much. See what else you guys are saying. We need to have Bully Holland. I cannot wait for Bully Holland, dude. Bully Holland is going to be something else. We thought the memes with Toby were something. Bully Holland is going to go wild. Venom is Spider-Man. They could take again inspiration. I think they're going to take a lot of inspiration from the PlayStation Spider-Man game. I would not be surprised if the next trilogy is a team-up trilogy between Tom and Miles, and he kind of goes through the mentor way. But right now, what Spider-Man 4 is looking to be. Let me see if I can find it. Rain. Saying that it's going to be adapting the Devil's Reign storyline, and we might have characters like Kate Bishop, Jessica Jones, and Echo. Like, okay, it doesn't feel Spider-Man-ish to me, I just want a classic story with this guy. Like, this feels so, yeah, exactly what this person tweeted. This is what we want. This is so much better. This feels like Spider-Man. This what I'm looking at: Kingpin, Daredevil, Scorpion, Black Cat. That feels like a Spider-Man story I would definitely want to see. Kate Bishop, Echo, Jessica Jones. I'm like, who invited this guy to the party? So that's what we have going on there. All right. Well, we'll see what happens though. I'm sure we're gonna find out so much more come next year because I'm thinking next year by the fall they're gonna want to start filming this movie. I gotta believe it. I gotta believe it. All right, let's go in to our other topic. So it's happened, y'all. We are here at the funeral. We are gathered here today to look at the DCEU and bury it. After 10 years, beginning in 2023, we have now reached the end of the DCEU. Now, like I was saying, this weekend I plan to do a video where I recap what I thought of the whole 10 years from Man of Steel, going movie by movie, the slate, all that stuff until Aquaman. But today, I kind of want to focus in on the movies we didn't get to see. The DCEU that was always promised to us that maybe was going to be awesome, but we never got. Let me pull them up and we'll go through them bit by bit and see what happened, buddy. Why did this never occur? All right. It's a long list, so I'm not going to spend too much time on everything, but let's go through it beginning here. A Harley Quinn versus Joker movie. This was something that was in the works. It was originally the original idea for Birds of Prey before it happened. And honestly, this would have been great. You know, I don't mind what they did with Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. For one, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, one of the best casting choices. She's up there with Hugh Jackman Wolverine, Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man. She is so iconic with that role, and I hope we do get to see her again. What they were setting up within like Suicide Squad in there and their relationship, and even just like this little moment, having a Harley Quinn versus Joker movie, I think could have been really great, especially since they give Harley Quinn the arc they were hoping for throughout other movies. You know, Birds of Prey and even the Suicide Squad, the James Gunn one, they give her the arc she was going to have in this movie where she cuts herself from the Joker. It's a toxic relationship. She becomes her own person. She blurs the line between good and bad. Like, I would have loved to have seen it, but alas, it did not happen. That would have been nice. A Joker movie. Along with a freaking so this is before they decided to do the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. Jared Leto was going to get his own film. I'm going to tell you right now, the biggest thing I'm going to end up talking about whenever I make that video about the DCEU is the slate they came out with. Because again, look at this. This was our entire roster of the DCEU. How messy, jumbled, makes absolutely no sense. You can't even tell a linear path. Like, and it only took 2 movies for it to go completely off the rails. You have a Superman movie, okay. A Batman versus Superman movie, kind of rushing it, but we'll let it happen. Suicide Squad movie, you lost. What are you doing? How is that where you go with things? Like, honestly, that should have been the Flash right there. They should have just done the Flash right there. I don't know why they did that. The whole idea to introduce the villains, this should have been part of a Batman movie. Ben Affleck Batman, but we again have to remember the context of all this. The Dark Knight trilogy with Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan, that had just ended, and that had set the bar so damn high, people were afraid to touch it. People were afraid to reboot Batman. They're like, we'll give you a Batman, but he's going to show up in team-up movies and this and that. I don't know if we're ready to try and, compete with what Christopher Nolan did, and I don't blame them. So this was their idea instead, and, I guess I honestly, I kind of like the Joaquin Phoenix one better, because although I think Jared Leto's Joker could have been great, there's things about him that I was, like, drawn back to. Like, even just the tattoo on that forehead, get rid of that tattoo on the forehead, I like his Joker, like, 10 times more, honestly. Zack Snyder's Justice League sequels. Well, you can't have Zack Snyder Justice League sequels if you kick Zack Snyder out of the universe, right? Again, we're going to talk about this, but as we were going, Zack Snyder movies were just not well received at the time. People really did not love his take on the DC universe so much that Warner Brothers panicked. They fired him and they brought the Avengers guy, Joss Whedon, in. In hindsight, they definitely did the man dirty and should not have done that. After seeing his cut of Zack Snyder's Justice League, I wanted at least one sequel, because I felt like he did build a really good team, a great dynamic. Actors aside, Ezra Miller and stuff like that, his idea to have Green Lanterns in there, make it more cosmic, the dark side he created. Whoa! I thought Steppenwolf in his version was really cool. I cannot imagine the fight with Darkseid and Superman and all the stuff he had planned, even if it's not exactly the route I would have liked to have gone, like a Batman ending up with Lois Lane and having a kid and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, Zach? But some of those elements, at least for the fight scenes, I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked to have seen. The Trench. Oh, you guys remember The Trench? This was supposed to be a spin-off to Aquaman. So and going through this, it just reminds you how crazy the executives at freaking Warner Brothers are. Because again, how do you go? Okay, we have our universe set up. The Trench. Sir, what about Green Lantern or Martian Manhunter or The Flash? The Trench. Bring me the Trench. Why is that an idea at all? Now, we found out some information about this movie years later that changed my mind, because the second they announced this, I did not want it. I did not want this Trench movie. Turns out it was actually supposed to be a secret Black Manta movie. Oh, it was supposed to be an in-between sequel while we wait for Aquaman 2. And after having seen Aquaman 2, the movie basically probably would have been him looking for the Black Trident, and the movie ending with him getting the Black Trident, getting to know more about him, his backstory, his life, why he's a genius, all this kind of stuff. Once I learned it was actually a secret Black Manta movie, I kind of regret saying I didn't want it, because Black Manta is one of my favorite DC villains now that they created. And in Aquaman 2, I think he's one of the best parts. I treated you too harshly, The Trench. I would have loved to have seen that movie, but alas, it did not happen. They canceled it. They said, yeah, stupid idea. We'll move along. New Gods. I know, again, like, this is just insanity to me. Who is the executive sitting down and making these decisions? You have so many classic, iconic characters, and you decide, let's make a movie with these random, nobody named gods that nobody is familiar with. You have some of the most notable, legendary, iconic superheroes in your roster, and you're making the Suicide Squad, the new gods. Now, with that said, I'm sure it could have been great. It was supposed to be an insight into freaking Darkseid, his family members, other really godly, powerful beings. Ava DuVernay was gonna end up directing it. I'm sure it could have been nice, but honest, I would have had no interest in this movie. I don't want to see Darkseid by himself the same way I don't want to see Venom by himself. I want to see Venom next to Spider-Man. I want to see Darkseid fighting the Justice League or fighting Superman. Why is that difficult? Okay. New Gods. No, thank you. I'm okay that we didn't get it. The Wonder Twin. This movie was 2 weeks away from becoming a thing, man. This is insane. So, the Wonder Twins, who I actually was familiar with before they announced them because of the old TV shows and them always being the butt of the joke. So, the Wonder Twins was part of this initiative that Warner Brothers had, where it's like streaming. It's very hot right now. People love the streaming. They love to clickety click, sit at home, watch movies. And you know what? We should spend millions of dollars on these movies that'll make $0. Doesn't that sound like genius business? Now, thanks to that program, we got Blue Beetle, and I'm extremely grateful for that because I love that movie. But Wonder Twins was one of those ideas to be a straight to streaming DC movie within the DCEU. It was these alien twins. One turns into any form of water, usually a bucket of water. A bucket of water was his power. And the I don't even remember what superpower the girl had. The girl had some other power that I completely forgot. I think animal changing or something like that. And they also have a monkey. That's the Wonder Twins, okay? Well, they had the kid from Riverdale, Archie, the main guy. Yeah, this was the cast. They cast them already. Riverdale Archie guy was going to be in there. This beautiful actress was going to be also in there. They were 2 weeks away from starting the cameras rolling when then maybe this isn't a good idea. I have rumors and hearings this is going to be a tax write-off movie, and you know it would have been a tax write-off movie if they actually got to filming it. I'm okay that it didn't happen. Maybe it could have been fun, wacky, and zany. I wouldn't have minded. But this is a kind of movie you make when you're in your fourth phase in your successful cinematic universe. You know, if the DC universe was as successful as the MCU, I'd be fine with a Wonder Twins movie in phase 4. I'd be wanting that movie. But right now, you do not put this in one of your early phases, man. A movie that should have not ended up on this list at all. Freaking Batgirl. This is the only movie out of this entire list that actually got made, but we will never see. You will never see Batgirl. This was crazy. I remember when this came out and all the drama surrounding it. The world changed. You know, everybody remembers when they were the day they announced Batgirl is not happening, right? So there is some understanding of why it didn't happen and whatnot, but I don't even get it. So again, this was going to be a straight to streaming movie. It was going to be connected to the DCEU. It was going to be a direct repercussion to the events of The Flash. At one point, The Flash was going to end where Michael Keaton was the new Batman of the DC universe because Ben didn't want to continue and they didn't have any other ideas. So they thought nostalgia bait, bring Michael Keaton back, right? But once they fired people, changed things up, hired James Gunn, decided to reboot things, they were like, yeah, we have no idea how to end The Flash now. How about a George Clooney joke that still kind of ruins a bit of the movie? But now it doesn't make sense that this Batgirl movie exists because Michael Keaton is technically dead by the end of The Flash or doesn't exist anymore in their universe. So they're like, yeah, this movie doesn't make sense anymore. Can it? Get rid of it. And it sucks, man, because whether you think about it or not, I would love to see Michael Keaton again as Batman. We didn't even get to see him ride his Batmobile in the Flash movie. He was going to ride the Batmobile in this movie. Brendan Fraser as Firefly. I love Brendan Fraser. You're not going to let me see a movie where he's a villain? So, you know, and I just feel bad for everyone involved, but it didn't end up happening. All right. One of the biggest mistakes of this entire universe that maybe would have changed a lot of things. While I said I was fine with Batman vs Superman happening after Man of Steel, that movie should have been the third Man of Steel movie. You jumped way too soon into that kind of concept, way too soon into everything that happened in that movie. You're 2 movies into your universe and you're introducing Doomsday. You're killing off Superman. You're having a Batman that's basically at the end of his ropes. Like, what? How is that how you start a universe? Sorry. I know people love it, and there are things I do like about it, but we should have just got a straight up Man of Steel 2. And again, the reason it didn't happen is because people didn't love Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, which I do think is crazy. I actually really love Man of Steel. It's one of my favorites from his. And even some of the controversial topics about that movie, I think is what makes it great. You know, like him killing Zod at the end. I know that's controversial, and usually I wouldn't want my Superman to kill. But the moral idea that brought up and the situation he was put in and the regret he felt, I felt made for an actual compelling Superman movie that could have been an interesting psychological story to follow with Superman in the sequel. What we never got. But what's even crazier is almost 10 years later, we finally got the confirmation you're getting Man of Steel 2. Happened after Black Adam. They set up a post-credit scene. Henry Cavill got back in that suit. There was cheers in the theaters. I was hyped. 3 months later, you're fired. You're fired. How does that happen? This messed up, crazy universe, man. How do you bring the guy back? Make him do a little announcement on Instagram. Just want to let y'all know I'm Superman again. Come check out the movie. And then you fire him. What? That's insanity, man. Like, I can't believe that happened. This movie should have happened at minimum 5 years, at least, after Man of Steel. Minimum. Hang on, let me see here. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Let me just do something real quick. All right, sorry about that. All right, continuing on here. Look at all this long history of Man of Steel 2. Okay, a Black Adam sequel. What do we even say about that? Remember everything leading up to Black Adam with The Rock? Hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change. Oh, it did, Dwayne. It definitely did change. and it meant you were being kicked out of it, my friend. That must have been the most embarrassing thing for Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I still really respect him and like him, but that must have hurt him, dude. That must have pissed him off. I bet he goes to sleep at night like, dude, he was counting to be the freaking Iron Man of this universe. But I think that's one of your biggest mistakes. You don't cast a giant star like Dwayne Johnson in what is essentially a minor villain in the overall DC scheme of things. Black Adam isn't a dark side. Black Adam isn't somebody you like pin a universe on. He's definitely a cool character, but the idea that like you don't even have him fight Shazam and or set up that kind of battle, you go straight to fighting Superman. Big mistake. Big mistake. Green Lantern Corp. Yes, I hate that we had one bad Green Lantern movie and now we can never have a Green Lantern movie again. I hope the same thing does not happen with The Flash. So much drama, controversy, and things with The Flash. And now that it's out and they're going to recast Ezra Miller, I don't know if we're ever going to get a Flash movie again. We might have to wait 20 years. The Green Lantern characters are some of the coolest characters in the DC universe, not only because of their power, but because of the core, all the different members across the galaxy, even the idea of like almost the police of the universe and things like that. Like, I love the Green Lantern, and we just barely ever get to see them. I was so disappointed when James Gunn came out and said they're going to be an HBO show. Now, granted, is that going to be cool? And I'm going to check that thing out, and it's probably going to be very expensive because TV shows are now expensive. Heck yes. But I want you to give me a Green Lantern movie again. I want you to try again and take it seriously. This movie could be epic, but I feel almost like Green Lantern in the movie universe has become the Aquaman of what Aquaman used to be. You remember how everyone used to make fun of Aquaman? I feel like that's Green Lantern now. Nobody cares about him. That hurts, man. I want a Green Lantern movie, but we're getting the TV show, and I'm sure that's going to be awesome. Lobo. Looks like at one point they were wanting to make a Lobo movie. You know what? That might end up being a reality with James Gunn. Lobo is exactly the kind of character that James Gunn will take out of something and be like, all right, this deserves a movie. And that honestly could be fine. Lobo could honestly be the DC Universe's Deadpool if played right. Will it be Jason Momoa? I don't know. I know people want him to be Jason Momoa, but it would literally be him being Aquaman again because Jason Momoa just made Aquaman Lobo, gave him that, ooh, yeah, baby, my man. Those are all things that Lobo should have had. And now he's just going to do that exact same thing with a bunch of makeup or CG on him. I don't know if Jason Momoa should be Lobo. I think he would have been great at the beginning and could have made that role super iconic. But now it's like he's just acting like Aquaman now. Because I don't know. That's just my understanding of it. Cyborg. Ray Fisher was one of the people that were also done dirty and whatnot. Feel how you feel about Ray Fisher. He was someone I didn't care about in the Justice League version just because there was no development there. Eventually, we got the Zack Snyder cut, and Cyborg's subplot in that movie is the best part of it. His whole journey becoming it, and Cyborg is such a tragic character. It is interesting though that like out of all these like lesser known characters, Cyborg became kind of in the stance of the Justice League. Because, growing up, I always saw him as a Teen Titan character because that's where I grew up on, the Teen Titans. And so it's just kind of funny that they always put him on the team and on there. But I was looking forward to him having a movie. I felt like there could have been something there. But like a big part of the Cyborg movie is his origin, his tragedy, what he goes through with that. I don't know if the best thing in the DC universe was to have all the origins of the major characters done in like quick bursts. Because Cyborg's origin is all done in that Justice League movie. The Flash's origin is done in that movie. Wonder Woman's basically explained. Batman's explained. Like, what would you have done in a Cyborg movie by that point, But I would have liked to have seen it. Gotham Sirens. This was a bit, again, I think what Birds of Prey ended up being. Does not need to be a movie that needs to happen. Why you're making other team up movies like this? Give me my Ben Affleck Batman movie. Why are you doing this? Deadshot, Will Smith, star power. Stop casting these giant stars for what are essentially super minor villains. Will Smith is great, and I like him. He should have never have been Deadshot. Like, why did you make him Deadshot? And then he was going to have a movie where Ben Affleck Batman would have cameoed for like 5-10 minutes. It's like, just give me my Ben movie and have him be a minor villain in it. but we can't do that because it's Will Smith, and Will Smith needs to be the star. All right. Like, I don't want to speak badly. He might come in here and smack me. All right, Deathstroke. Him getting a movie? Yeah, I guess that's fine. I'd rather him be a villain in a Teen Titan movie. I know that's like a low grade thing for him, but a solo Deathstroke movie? No. And in fact, he was supposed to be the main bad guy of the Ben Affleck Batman movie when they finally were going to decide to make it, right? You maybe have seen some of that test footage that they were going to do. I would have rather seen that. He was going to destroy Batman's life and all that, and could have had really cool fight scenes. Supergirl, that got canceled. That was announced. That was a movie. It was probably going to be with Sasha Kaya at one point. Now we're still getting a Supergirl movie, but it's a completely different story. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm just sad that it wasn't Sasha Kaya. Now, this movie, Crisis on Infinite Earths, this is literally what they were building to right now. If the DC universe didn't end and Walter Hamada was still in charge of it and James Gunn didn't come in and all that stuff, this was their plan. Remember, they filmed a post-credit scene for The Flash that was going to have Ben Affleck Batman send a message to Barry Allen across the universe saying, come and find me. Come and find us, Barry. And it was going to lead to this multiverse event where we were going to see different universes colliding together, just like the comic event Crisis on Infinite Earth. But we're rebooting things. Maybe one day in the future, I could definitely see James Gunn doing this and bringing back a lot of these old actors from this dead universe. But that's a long shot. That's going to take so much time, and I don't know if they'll ever actually do it. Batman Beyond. I wanted it. I wanted it to happen. It'll probably end up being an animated movie now with James Gunn, which, you know what? That's fine. It could be their Spider-Verse. And honestly, just thinking about the visuals in that universe, whoa, that'd be so awesome. Wonder Woman 3. It's we're not getting it with Gal Gadot anymore. That was something in the works, and that's one of the early projects that they killed with freaking the new universe coming in. I liked Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I liked, Wonder Woman 2 wasn't that great, but her first Wonder Woman was amazing. All right. Nightwing. I forgot this was a movie they announced. They came out and say that Chris McKay, who I believed worked on the Lego Batman movie, so he has that Batman knowledge because Lego Batman was pretty great. I would have been awesome. I would have loved a Nightwing movie. It just would have been funny because it would have been an Elseworld story. It wouldn't have been connected to the DCEU because in the DCEU, Robin, Dick Grayson, Nightwing is dead. He's the one that died. It wasn't Jason Todd. It wasn't another Robin. Dick Grayson is dead in the DCEU, which pains my little heart because I love him. But a Nightwing movie in his own universe, sure. That would have meant we would have gotten another Batman that wasn't Ben Affleck. A Flash sequel. That's not happening. That's not happening. The rest are old projects not connected to the DCEU. But that right there is just like a quick history lesson of the things we were promised, things we were going to get. There were announcements, there was writers, there was attachments. Some of these actually got made and are canceled for tax purposes. That's what happens, man. That's the DCEU. Oh, man, that was crazy. All right, let me go ahead and answer some of these super chats, and then I got to mosey along with the rest of my day here. So let me go on to these. We got Anthony White sending in a super sticker. Appreciate that, my friend. Appreciate that. My mama needs to know your opinion on Strays. I did not like it. I'm a dog person. I love my pets and everything. But that movie I just found stupid. Like, really dumb. There's a whole scene where you're just watching dogs poop. Like, it's like 5. I mean, I'm eating popcorn in that theater. It was so gross. A lot of penis jokes with dogs, and I'm like, made me a little comfortable. And I'm not a prude. I like, the dumb, nasty jokes sometimes, but like that one, it just went dumb. To me, it was dumb. I know some people are gonna enjoy it. Remember, the whole plot of that movie is a dog trying to bite his owner's dick off. That's the whole plot of that movie. To me, I wasn't a fan of it, so I didn't even review it on the channel. Have you seen the live action Avatar trailer? Yeah, it looks awesome. I can't wait to see it. We'll see why the original writers and creators left, but yeah, it looks good. I'll be waiting for the Funko Pop video this Christmas. Hopefully I get it done. Top 5 Christmas movies. Number 1, Jim Carrey's The Grinch. I really like the first Santa Claus movie with Tim Allen. That just makes me feel Christmassy. Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I know maybe that movie's not great, but I watched it as a kid and I love it. Cr- Unexpected one, Eight Crazy Nights. Adam Sandler's Eight Crazy Nights. It's not very appropriate. It has not aged well. That movie will get you canceled today. But the songs in there are kind of awesome. I love the songs in Eight Crazy Nights. I don't know. I like that movie. And then lastly, what's another one I can add in there that I really like I used to hate it. I'll throw Elf. I used to hate Elf as a kid. I just thought it was an annoying movie because Will Ferrell's just screaming that whole movie, Santa. But then one day I gave it a shot and I was like, this is kind of nice. This is kind of nice. Yeah. New Wolverine cast as Liam McIntyre. Oh, was that happen right now, man? I don't know what the, or is that the voice actor of the Leak game? I don't know. Let me is there a way for me to look that up? Let me just see. Liam McIntyre. Yeah, isn't he? Yeah, he's just the voice of the Insomniac one. Yeah, that's cool. Little clips I did hear of him from the leaks. Sounds good. The SSBU movie made like a DBS Tournament of Power. Oh, that'd be cool. I wouldn't mind that. That would actually be great. Building up to that like that, I'd dig it. Any news about season 2 of Moon Knight? There was a report. There was a giant report that came out with a bunch of Marvel news. I think I'm gonna have to cover that in an own video, but they did say something with Moon Knight's in the works. Either him and Midnight Suns, a together movie, or season 2. I honestly just want them to be done with the Disney Plus stuff. But yeah. Game King just sends in support. Thank you and so much. Thoughts on how Jordan's Green Lantern? I really like him. I think he's an underrated one. Underrated. He's like one of the most well-known one. But Ryan Reynolds, I felt like ruined it for a lot of people. I feel like he just went too jokey with it, too silly. And I know Green Lantern sometimes has that personality, but I see him as like a very straightforward, serious guy. And so I don't know. I really honestly, he's my favorite Lantern. So. Have you seen the new Percy Jackson yet? Yes, and I thought it was great. I'm enjoying it. I'm waiting for a couple of more episodes, but I really liked it, and I'm waiting. I'm hoping this becomes Disney's like branch of doing stuff because right now they only got me on Marvel and Star Wars shows. They needed something like Percy Jackson, man, desperately. But I am liking it. Walker Skullball is awesome. If I don't see you till Christmas, Merry Christmas. All Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Merry Christmas to you. How do you feel about Lord and Miller confirms Beyond the Spider-Verse begins and beginning and end are already written and the movie is in full production until 225 release? I think that's awesome. I want them to take their time with it. Do not, stress yourself. Do not feel like you have to push them. VFX people, let them see their families for the holiday. But that trilogy is going to be amazing. I cannot wait to see the end of that. I was getting ready to do my list of like my favorite comic book movies of this year because we had a lot. I think Across the Spider-Verse is number 1 for me. So I'm hyped. And it could come out in 2026. As long as the movie's ready and good, I'm excited for it. Would Kirby would have a major role? I would hope so. That'd be a great way to introduce Kirby. Because right now, if you made a Kirby movie in the Illumination world, I don't know if that many people would see it. I feel like it would I know there's a lot of Kirby lovers out there, and I do like them. But I think Kirby could benefit from showing up in the Smash Bros. Movie, being a standout character. Then you give him his own universe movie because he's got some cool villains in there, and there's some nice stuff you could do. That could be fun, and just seeing him go, suck it in somebody. Don't take that out of context. All right, 3C. Is there any way I could send you a link to a V-short video you inspired me to do? It's a TikTok, and it would mean the world to me. If it's on TikTok, tag me in it, my friend. I see my tags all the time on TikTok. I have my channel on there, so I'll find it, man. I'll find it. Just tag me in it and say, this is the one, Chris, or something like that, and I'll find it. All right, let me see what else I could do. All right, we have, there we go. It finally refreshed. I feel like I like The Flash. I like the Blue Beetle movie. I like Shazam movie. I enjoyed it for what it was. Oh, it's good to. You know what? I can't really say there was a comic book movie I hated this year. I'm trying to think of all of them that came out. Like even the Marvels, which I think will be the one that ends up at the bottom of my list, or maybe Shazam Fear. Not maybe not Shazam Fear of the Gods wouldn't be at the bottom, but those would be the bottom 2. I didn't hate the movies. I I didn't, like if this was the year Morbius came out and something like that, we'd be talking differently about them. But yeah, they're fine. It's just we're missing that serotonin feel, that like, whoa, that was amazing that you got from Guardians or Across the Spider-Verse. Those are like really the only, Blue Beetle for more personal reasons, because it's my culture, Mexican and things like that. And I never thought I'd see that Blue Beetle movie. But I understand not everyone's gonna have that bias. But Guardians and Across the Spider-Verse is kind of like that serotonin high you want from a comic book movie, and the rest of them were just okay. They're fine. Do you think Buddy Elf is literally Osborn's son? If you didn't get this joke, look up Norman Osborn's secret son. Oh yeah, I've seen that. Okay, that's a funny video. I need to get back to doing videos like that, little funny intros. All right, guys. That's where I'm gonna have to end it for right now. I gotta get going and do some stuff, film the spoiler review for Aquaman Dose. So that'll be up on the channel soon. I did see Iron Claw this weekend, so I want to make a review on that because honestly, Iron Claw might be my favorite one of my favorite movies of this year. If go check it out this weekend, man. Other than that, though, I love y'all's faces. Y'all are fantastic. Bye, my peeps. Bye, my peeps.